be real. Keep it 100. Caitlin Clark has been on the receiving end of this sort of stuff way too much.
For the past few years, fans of Caitlin Clark have been asking the same question: how much worse can it get? They have expressed frustration over what they believe is inconsistent officiating, arguing that increasingly rough fouls against Clark often go uncalled. At the same time, they feel she is penalized for relatively minor actions, such as simply standing in place, clapping, and receiving a technical foul, or even being called for a foul after being elbowed by an opposing player. Now, many of those fans believe they have finally received their answer. It can, in fact, get even worse.
I called it that she would be targeted.
What Alyssa Thomas did to Caitlin Clark was so blatant that it sparked outrage far beyond Clark's fan base. It wasn't just fans reacting online. Analysts, members of the media, and even Clark's coach openly expressed their frustration. Although the league has since taken action, which I'll discuss shortly, many believe the damage has already been done. As I'll explain, in today's world of viral clips and social media highlights, incidents like this can seriously harm the WNBA's reputation unless the league takes meaningful action. But first, if you're enjoying this video, be sure to like it and leave a heart in the comments to show your support for Caitlin Clark. Now, let's go back to June 22nd. Heading into the game against the Phoenix Mercury, Caitlin Clark was playing some of the best basketball of her career. She had put together several straight games with at least 20 points and 5 assists, ranking third in the league in scoring and second in assists. Fully healthy again, she was making a strong early case for the MVP award. Despite her outstanding performances, many believed she was still dealing with the same inconsistent officiating that had followed her since entering the WNBA. Supporters argued that obvious fouls against her often went uncalled, while she was frequently penalized for minimal contact or routine defensive plays. According to those critics, the officiating in this particular game was even more controversial than usual.
Position, but I mean, feeling hard when she was technical foul. You hear the crowd react, and Clark is perplexed and shocked as to why she was assisted technical.
During the game, Caitlin Clark got into a brief physical exchange with DeWanna Bonner, which eventually led to the well-known incident involving Sophie Cunningham. However, that wasn't the end of the controversy. If you noticed the earlier clip, you may have heard that Caitlin Clark was assessed a technical foul during that sequence. Surprisingly, the technical was reportedly issued simply because she clapped in reaction to the play, a decision that quickly became another point of debate among fans and commentators.
Up the tech tonight, 5th of the season.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I got a technical for clapping. So, if we should all just go on the calendar now and pick a game that I'm going to be suspended for if I'm going to get technicals for clapping. I asked Gerda. Gerda said that I got a technical for clapping. So, if any technical should be taken away, it should be that one. If it's truly for clapping, that's what they said they gave it to me for was for clapping. So it's just ridiculous. I don't understand it at all.
What made the situation even more controversial was that Caitlin Clark's technical foul was never rescinded by the league. Many fans pointed out that the WNBA had previously overturned a similar technical foul issued to Paige Buchers, leading to accusations of inconsistent treatment. Unfortunately for Clark, the controversy didn't end there. As the game continued, the officiating and physical play only became more contentious.
Yo, AT tried to take Caitlin Clark out. Look at that elbow. Oh my.
I saw the elbow extend from behind, and that's not gonna
She tried to take her out with the elbow.
The controversy escalated when Alyssa Thomas appeared to swing her elbow toward Caitlin Clark, a play that many believed should have been called a clear foul. The incident immediately sparked criticism from fans and analysts, who argued that the contact was both obvious and unnecessary. However, what happened next drew even greater backlash. Many viewers described the officials' decision that followed as one of the most controversial calls they had ever seen, with some even calling it one of the worst officiating decisions in sports history.
The illegal contact is initiated by Caitlin Clark. She comes across the arm, into the body and hip of Thomas.
After the officials reviewed the play, the decision surprised many observers. Caitlin Clark was ruled to have initiated the contact and was assessed the foul. The ruling quickly became another source of controversy, with critics arguing that she had been penalized despite appearing to receive the elbow. To many fans, the situation seemed increasingly frustrating. Clark had already received a technical foul for clapping, and now she was called for a foul on a play where many believed she was the one who had been hit. The recurring question remained, how much worse could it get? At the time, Clark was putting together another outstanding performance and was on pace to finish with around 20 points and 10 assists. Then, another incident changed the course of the game. Another controversial moment occurred when Alyssa Thomas appeared to press her fist against Caitlin Clark's neck during a physical play. From another camera angle, some viewers also believed they saw Thomas's knee make contact with Clark's groin. Critics argued that both actions warranted a foul, yet no whistle was blown. Shortly afterward, Clark exited the game with a back injury and did not return. Many fans and commentators speculated that the injury may have been related to the physical contact she had endured during the game, including what they described as another dangerous closeout by a defender. As a result, supporters pointed to a series of incidents, including contact to the neck, the alleged knee to the groin, repeated aggressive closeouts, and Clark's eventual injury, as evidence that the game had become excessively physical. The sequence sparked widespread criticism and intense debate among fans, analysts, and media members.
Whether it's from Kennedy Carter at the very beginning, or Marina Mabrey last year, or Alyssa Thomas today, way too often she's been on the receiving end of this stuff, and she's getting called for fouls for having her arms straight up in the air and getting technicals for clapping. And then there was the closeouts. Reckless closeouts, whatever you want to call them. And I said, I posted earlier today, she's gonna get hurt. If this keeps up, she got her back issue.
How many times is Caitlin Clark going to get cheap shotted by the same 3 or 4 players over and over and over and over again before the refs do anything about it?
While fans and analysts were openly criticizing the officiating, many also wondered how Stephanie White, Caitlin Clark's head coach, would respond. During the game, White remained relatively restrained on the sidelines. Some observers felt she should have shown more frustration toward the officials, although they acknowledged they weren't expecting the kind of emotional reactions often associated with Cheryl Reeve. Critics argued that, up to that point, White had appeared more willing to challenge Clark than the officiating itself. However, her tone changed after the game. In her post-game comments, she addressed the situation directly, saying what many supporters felt had needed to be said all along.
Number one, you gotta call it. It's absolutely egregious and utterly disrespectful.
Terms like unacceptable and egregious accurately reflected the coach's frustration, but it was what Stephanie White said next that stood out the most. Many viewed her comments as a turning point, suggesting that the ongoing concerns about officiating had finally reached a breaking point. White didn't just criticize the officials, she also strongly defended Caitlin Clark, praising her toughness, composure, and the way she continued to compete despite the physical play. For many supporters, it was the strongest public endorsement Clark had received from her coach, and a clear statement that the issues surrounding officiating could no longer be ignored.
We have a generational talent and a WNBA superstar who had 2 cheap shots right there that weren't called. And I just say again, absolutely unacceptable.
Some critics argued that Stephanie White could have gone even further in defending Caitlin Clark, emphasizing her impact on the WNBA's growing popularity, increased media attention, improved travel conditions, and rising player salaries. While opinions differ on the sincerity of White's comments, many agreed that she was at least addressing the concerns that fans had been raising throughout the season. White's remarks echoed the frustration shared by many supporters, who believe the league has failed to consistently protect one of its biggest stars. Although Alyssa Thomas was later suspended for 1 game following the incident, many Clark fans felt the punishment was too lenient. To them, it seemed like a minimal response to an incident that had generated widespread public criticism. According to these critics, the league acted only because the play drew so much attention, and they argue that the suspension alone does little to address broader concerns about officiating and player safety. In their view, the issue has been allowed to continue for too long. As a result, many fans believe the image of Alyssa Thomas making contact with Caitlin Clark's neck has become a symbol of what they see as the league's handling of Clark throughout her WNBA career. They argue that, unless the WNBA makes significant changes to its officiating standards and player protection policies, moments like this will continue to shape public perception of the league whenever these discussions arise. According to the video's argument, every disputed call, every comment suggesting that Caitlin Clark should stop challenging officials, and every instance of particularly physical play against her will continue to remind fans of this incident. Supporters believe it symbolizes what can happen when, in their view, smaller officiating issues are repeatedly overlooked instead of being addressed early. The video concludes by encouraging viewers to leave a trophy emoji in the comments as a sign of appreciation for watching until the end.